Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to talk about the misunderstanding of DC's dimensions. So the reason why the DC's dimensions, like the fifth dimension, other than spatial dimensions, of course, is misunderstood, is how dimensions is used commonly within our world. Like, dimensions can mean a lot of things. Like, it could be a world, a realm, a universe, a multiverse, or a pocket of segmented space-time, or anything else that is related to, realms or whatever. It could be spatial dimensions, or it could be temporal dimensions, or anything like that. So you see, the most commonly used term for dimensions, I think, is spatial and temporal dimensions. So spatial dimensions is basically moving is an extra dimension that you can move. So, like, imagine a flat plane. That flat plane only, that space only has two directions. Four directions. Hold on. So that plane has four directions. That is forward, back, and left and right. And also, and this would mean that they are still limited by their second dimension. They can only move in two axes, that is length and width, while we can move in height. While the fourth dimension, well, it's unknown. So you see, people commonly think that, the fourth dimension is time, but that means that, thinking the fourth dimension is time is the equivalent of a two-dimensional being thinking that the third dimension is time, which is not true whatsoever. So the fourth dimension is just an axis of space-time, like just another extra direction in which an extra dimensional being can move through. Basically, that's how it works. And the reason why it's misunderstood in DC is due to the fact that the dimensions in DC are often look very similar to that of spatial dimensions. Like the fifth dimension where Mixie came from is very similar to that of the fifth spatial dimension. Then, like any kind of fictional story that they are making, and like that basically, and that's what came to the misunderstanding, is that they think of DC's dimensions that is above the bleed, which contains infinite dimensions, and the God tier, which is an universal structure, and so on and so forth, as dimension, as dimensions, is due to the fact that the word dimension is commonly used as a spatial dimension, like that basically. And also, this is the main reason why I found out in Quora is that a lot of people downplay Mr. Mixie, Spitlick, and Perpetua, because they think that the DC universe only contains universes, but in reality it contains infinite universes, and there are many evidence to support this. And they also like to match up in Quora. I saw a question about Xenoverse Goku versus Mr. Mixie, Spitlick, and they think that Xenoverse Goku is win due to the fact that he's six-dimensional. Xenoverse Goku would win since they think that he's six-dimensional and Mixie is fifth-dimensional. Well, in reality, it's not. The dimensions in DC are way different. Mixie can destroy infinitely many higher dimensions. It's just that, you see, the dimensions in DC, like the fifth dimension, imagination, the fourth dimension, the time stream, is misunderstood due to how our dimension is commonly used throughout the world. So they misinterpret it as being something common. It is due to the name itself. Like, the fifth dimension they think is the fifth spatial dimension, and the fourth dimension they think is the fourth spatial dimension, and so on and so forth. In reality, they are not extra directions. They are realms above infinite dimensions, like from 4 to above, basically. That's how it works. So this is a lot of sparkling debate. Like they think that Xenoverse Goku is beats Mr. Mixie, Spitlick, and in reality, Mixie defeats Xenoverse Goku despite him being six-dimensional, because Mixie's fifth dimension is imagination and is not in extra direction, but it's rather a realm. That's how it works, basically. And also, I'm going to bring back this question about Dark Side versus the Scarlet King, or should I say the Darkest Knight versus the Scarlet King, is that they think that Perpetua creating 52 universes is father to the king, but in reality she created infinite universes, infinite dimensions, the God Sphere, which is an universal construct, and also Limbo and the Monosphere, basically. So basically, I think that she's the one that created the entire DC multiverse thing, and also she is the reason why the DC multiverse existed, And the reason why is because the sixth dimension is a dimension that is a realm, not an extra direction. It's not an extra direction, folks. Remember that. And the sixth dimension within DC, it is a dimension beyond imagination, or should I say a realm beyond imagination. So basically, the reason why it is misunderstood. So basically, the reason why it is misunderstood once again is due to the fact that is due to the fact that is how dimension is how the term dimension is commonly used. It is commonly used as being a spatial dimension rather than a realm, which is why the dimensions in DC, like Mixie's dimension and Perpetua's dimension, like that, which is above of the one that Mixie is in, is misunderstood because they think it's an extra direction rather than a realm. So dimensions can be very tricky. So in order to differentiate between a dimension and a realm, you see, an extra dimension is an extra direction, a spatial dimension. So that means that any being that is bound under the limitation of spatial temporal rules will be obliterated by a being like dark side, like that is an outer-versal concept, like a platonic concept that exists in the God sphere, of course, and of course every god in the God sphere, including the endless, although they can go beyond that. So anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and peace out.